Hey everybody, what's going on? It's time for Fridays just after Bill Burr's Thursday and Monday morning podcast with Average Joe. It's just me chilling on a Friday, going to work soon. But the best part is we're gonna get off work, and guess what? We got the fucking weekend off, man. So we're gonna be relaxing, catching up on some gardening, do my little old lady stuff, Got some green grass growing finally up here in Michigan. Got some green trees, some flowers. We got, flower buds and whatnot. Fields of dandelions. That is sad, dudes. It's, you remember that? Remember that? So let's jump into Bill, alright? What is this podcast? It's the fucking React to Bill show. It's the Burr, not so Burr show. Alright. So first off, thank you for asking. Thank you so much. Love you all. Thank you. I'm feeling much better than earlier this week. Yeah, I had a little health scare. Still have to, get that checked out with the doctor. But other than that, we're doing all right. Things are back to normal for what it's worth. But all right. So let's see here. Well, Bill, of course, he said he's going to get an hour on Thursday, and one of the first things he says is, I gotta go to my gyms, my big gate gym. So it's only going to be 45 minutes. So right there, everybody who listened, he owes you 15 minutes. I don't even care about my 15. You can have split my 15 among you all. But that's exactly why I don't promise a time, because I just ramble until I run out, and that's fucking it. And then I'll talk to you the next time. He talked about the pullover hoodie versus the zip up, and it's funny because I know a lot of people who like pullovers, that not even because it's a pullover, but just for some reason they make so much cooler designs on those. I don't know if it's the zipper in the way or what the deal is, but you get a lot more design bang for your buck, I guess you could say. But no, I'm a zipper person too. I can't stand it. If I'm taking the pullover off, it's pulling my shirt with it. And even my ex-wife, when she would take hers off, I'd have to hold her shirt so it wouldn't come up, and I'd have to hold like her, hold her bra and everything. It was just ridiculous. It's like, hey, hold on to every fucking piece of clothing that I have that's movable as I try to take off this like Velcro skin suit. That's what it seems like. And then even on top of that, the pullover, if you're in winter, obviously, you're cold, so you're in winter or some kind of cooler weather, it's probably a little drier. Pullover, you take that off, now you're a walking lightning bolt to shock whoever you want. And some people might like the static stuff, like I know a couple people that enjoy shocking their friends. But I love lightning. Don't get me wrong, it's one of the coolest parts of nature. But I don't want to get hit by mini lightning, no matter how many it is. I know it's only a split second. I know I'm being a puss, but I don't actively avoid it. Like if I see somebody, and I'm not gonna not shake their hand or not, receive a gift or whatever the scenario. I'm not gonna just ignore it and be like, no, you're gonna shock me, unless I know they are. But no, that's why I go with the zip, because even then, you minimize the shock. You can open up the front, get some airflow, but you can still have, your arms covered. Like Bill said, you're not showing everybody, an ogre when you're taking it off. And on top of that, you don't create an electric, you're not a little lightning ball. He went into learning on YouTube. He was talking about learning about, different small things. Excuse me here while I smoke a little bit. We are in a legal state of smoking here, and I'm not traveling at the moment. I won't be traveling for a little bit, so excuse me here. I don't know why I did that voice, but yeah. Made me think about the YouTube learning, because my friends and my circle of close people call me the researcher, because I'm one of those people. It's like, we're talking about, man, what's something real dumb? Like, I'm looking up at the clouds now, and it's like, how they got the line of clouds that are all broken apart, and then they get thicker and thicker, and then it just turns into one cloud. I'll start Googling, like, what makes clouds clump together? And next thing you know, like Bill, or like anybody will say, a lot of people will say this, you start with something like, what makes clouds, or not what makes clouds, but, something silly like that, and you end up working your way to, like, how to skin a raccoon and make a hat, or where to find baby caterpillars to raise butterflies. I don't know, but it always leads down some rabbit hole of something that you're probably interested in. Like, for me, for example, it's, like space sciences and, politics and human science, like studying human activities. That's interesting for me too, but that's more of like, I'm going to be back here. I'm going to watch you be crazy over there, and I'm going to be back here. On that note, actually, he was talking about, the View he went on, and how the left, the right, this and that, blah, 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 and they lean this way, and he leans that way, or, I say we, because that person wrote in, speaking for all of us, so I'll speak for all of us too, Bill. Yeah, we assume, or whatever, but, no, the point is, he was talking about, he said, aren't you scared or a little concerned about what this guy, our supposed leaders are doing? And, where was I going to go with that? Oh, no, it was funny because, I do have to listen to the View and the Clarkson. Thank you for the person who wrote in, or person who put on a comment on the podcast, on Bill's podcast. Thank you to that comment that said, thanks to YouTube, I can watch the interviews. Because now, today when I get to work, I'm going to listen to his, the View and the Kelly Clarkson, the interviews or whatever he did, just to see what, see if it's funny, interesting, what his takes are, how, and, get in line with all you guys that have already seen it. And so I can, talk some shit to him too. But no, going back to the leaders thing, he was asking if everybody, aren't you concerned? Like the people who picked this person, like, aren't you worried a little bit? Yada yada. And it's funny because at work, I listen to the that, I don't know the lady's name, but he's got the lady that comes out and does the morning addresses, and she's just so, like, I don't even want to say straightforward, because she is, but on top of straightforward, she'll cut you right off. If you're asking a question she doesn't like, she'll cut you right off and be like, she'll say, well, we have had the greatest economic growth in the first, in the first month. We've had more economic growth than any economy in the history of history, going all the way back past the caveman, back, any alien civilizations. We've done the studies, we've done the polls, and the aliens, they just, aliens can't, their planets aren't good as, they're not as good as ours. We're so bigly and greatly better. And it's, it's all this dumb shit, like, but she'll cut someone off, like, someone will be like, well, aren't you worried? And she's like, no, there's no worry. Everything's working fine. It doesn't matter what you think. You're fake. You're a liar. You're crap. Get the hell out of here. Next question. And that's how this lady goes every time I listen. And I'm just like, dude, can you imagine? Like, I'm really hoping she's putting this on just for the job. I'm hoping she's just playing for the job. Because, imagine being married to her. Like, you're like, hey, honey, you want to go to breakfast? No, I don't want breakfast. You're not hungry. Get the fuck back in bed. Sleep till 9. Come back to me at 9:45, and we'll discuss it. Next question. Next question. Oh. But, no, and then on top of that, excuse me, on top of that, everybody at the rally, after hearing all this shit, I'm the best leader the world's ever seen. I was thinking, if orange is the new black, I heard that a couple times, and then obviously the show is real famous. But just as a fun little joke or question here, if orange is the new black, does that make him black? Since he's the orange guy? Is that our second black leader? Because he doesn't act like it, and he doesn't seem to have respect, for his own race. If that's the new color, the orange is the new black, like the TV show. No, but at the rallies, like I said, we got this, the greatest in the world and blah, blah, blah. And then the people that should be concerned, or not even concerned, but just should be like, okay, you're saying this, like, you're saying, this and that about, like, eggs, eggs are down 975%, whatever, I don't know, but, point is, I'm still paying all the same prices. Like, if anything, gas went up a quarter a quarter a gallon, not just a quarter, but a quarter a gallon. So, I mean, if we're going to blame that, then that's the gas prices, man. You're hurting my wallet, man. And I haven't gotten a raise. I haven't gotten no tax cuts. No, and I know all the people will be like, you just got to wait, man. You just got to hold out. It's going to be hard before it gets easy. And that applies to a lot of things, actually. I can kind of agree on the hard before easy. But, no, it's just the people in the crowds are just sitting there like, USA, USA. And then he could just say some dumb shit like fucking, Joseph is so sleepy, he's taking a nap. He's loving his nap. It's a lovely nap. We love naps. Naps are an American thing, naps have always been great. And the crowd's just like, USA, USA, like you're chanting for a nap. It's, or I don't even know if they know what they're chanting for. They're just chanting just to make noise. Just like, we are here. We are here. But not even we are here, like, recognize us. Just, I'm making noise. I'm making noise like that. USA. It's like, it's like when people, like the Tom Brady roast, when everybody was thinking, talking about Gronk being, like, stupid because he's so big. That's what I picture. It's like a bunch of, like, 8 foot tall, just, USA, USA, yeah. And I don't even mean handicapped like that. I mean, I just mean, like, just fucking caveman. Like, just a bunch of cavemen in t-shirts, like, super short dickie shorts, and those college kid loafers. Just, or whatever, and then, like, the ex-military or whatever. I don't know what the group is. I don't want to classify anyone, but I can just see the crowd. Like I said, just a bunch of 8 foot tall, cavemanish style, just with their clubs in the air, just like, it's just grunting and shit. He said he learned how to do ties, or tie ties. My first thing, I can't tie a tie yet, I'll be honest. Every tie I've used, if it was on my own, was the zip up, the fake one or either that or the clip on, so you clip it and it looks all nice and neat. So I'm not even, I'll be the first one to admit on my own, against myself, however you want to put it, that he's better than me as of right now. Bill's better than me in that respect. But the funny thing is, he said he did like a half Windsor, and then like a double Windsor, or maybe a Windsor and a double Windsor, like 2 shows though. Like one show, he won, and the other show the other. And I was just thinking, because he's talking about that person that audibly gasped later in the cast, and I was thinking the way he acted was like the crowd was the same way, like they did an audible gasp, like, do you see Bill? Do you see that last night he only had a single Windsor and tonight it's a double? What could this mean? Is his character going to act differently? Is he going to throw in a funny voice because he inhaled the water and didn't have time to cough it up? Which, that's hilarious. That is gold right there, Bill. That is, to someone, I don't think you're allowed to record, if that, for the point of because it's a play, and it's ongoing, but if someone could have recorded that segment, because I can only imagine. I actually had a time I was I was in the Rocky Mountains with my dad about 5 years ago. There was a guy, an older guy named Forrest Fenn. You may have heard of him. Forrest Fenn supposedly left millions of dollars of gold, silver, diamonds, rubies, treasures of all kinds in a treasure chest out in the Rockies. And he wrote a book. He wrote a poem in a book. And in the poem and in the book were all the clues to get you to where the treasure is located. And, you know, my dad's like me. He's a researcher. You know, what he's interested in, he's going to keep looking into it. And, of course, being a treasure, I mean, you know, that's like a kid's fantasy. But, I mean, anybody's fantasy is finding a hidden treasure. I don't think any adult would deny, you know, finding a hidden treasure. I mean, you know, I don't know how unsafe each person's willing to go. But, you know, we're in the Rockies, so we got our pistols in case, like, a bear comes up or something. And, you know, you're really screwed and you have no choice. You know, other than that, like, everything's fine. But, no, so we were out in the Rockies. We flew into West Yellowstone. We drove a couple hours in the mountains. And we're on this little dirt path. Get off the dirt path. We start our trek down to where my dad believes the treasure is. And we got to cross this river. And, you know, it's not whitewater river. Like, you know, I mean, it's got a little white cap here and there, you know, little, probably little, you know, rocks that are sticking up that are causing little, like, white caps as they go over it. But, you know, when you look at it, it's like, okay, you know, this ain't going to be super easy. But, you know, if I just lean into the river force, you know, and go slow, you know, we'll work our way through and see how, you know, like, it's just the two of us. So we're not doing like a chain link across. You know, and unfortunately, since it's two of us, you know, we're not throwing the rope over to the team or something, you know. So he goes across first, and he's smaller. He's like 5'6", maybe 5. Well, yeah, I'm going to say 5'6". Sorry, Dad. I was going to try and give you an extra inch, but I think Mom used to say 5'5" because she was 5'7". So we're going to go 5'6" and, you know, say 150, 160 pounds. Well, so the point, I guess he's got a lower center of gravity and less weight, but I don't know either way. He went first and made it across. It wasn't super easy, it wasn't hard. And then I'm going across, and the hard part for me wasn't the river's the push of the river. It was, well, I mean, that was, you know, you're wrestling that anyway. But the hard part is what you're stepping on underneath. It's, you know, it's moving. I don't want to say rushing, but I don't know what class it would be, like low class, you know, minor rapids. It was about waist high on me. I'm 6'1", so, you know, about 3 foot tall in the middle, so about 3 foot deep, you know, just a steady, you know, somewhat heavily flowing water. And what happened is, you know, it's all stone on the bottom, like different little stones, big stones, whatnot, and, you know, there's no grip on them. They're not like jagged. And they could be jagged sharp, but not jagged like, you know, gritty where you can grip with your shoes. So as we're crossing, and we got hiking boots and all that. I'm not out there in like, you know, a pair of Skechers, but Skechers doing whitewater river crossings and shit. No, so I fall down and I inhale a whole, you know, as I fall down, it's like I got, you know, I do the like the, you know, because it's like, holy shit, here we go. And I fell, and first thing is I'm thinking, all right, don't hit my head on the rocks. I didn't hit my head on the rocks, but I noticed that, like, well, I actually didn't notice until I got to the riverbank. So my first thought, I don't know what made me think of it, but, you know, you see all the stories about people getting stuck in a river and going down river and over a waterfall, and, you know, I didn't know if there's a waterfall or not. I think it just led to a calm lake eventually, but I could have hit my head on a rock. But either way, no, the point, you know, so I fall, I'm in the river, get to the riverbank. That's how I did it. It's a whole nother story. I don't know why I thought about the people that stand on logs and they roll the logs and they move the logs across the water. So I just started rolling. I rolled my body, like I went up like mummy Egyptian style, like arms crossed, legs straight, like a torpedo. And I just started like rolling my body like I was just like rolling across the carpet or something. And next thing you know, I'm like against the dirt on the side. I grabbed it, and that's when I noticed I was coughing up like full, like every cough I couldn't inhale, so I just coughed. like kind of like a gag cough, and it was a bunch of water. I got a little inhale, coughed a bunch more, and I was for like 5 minutes straight. It felt like I was just coughing up like drops and splatters of water and shit. And so I totally get that part, the waterboarding yourself part. But what's funny is I didn't have to go on to a play, and he was, like he said, it was his sip right before the play started. So yeah, like that would have been great to have on camera. That would have been great. Let's see. He's talking about speaking of learning stuff, making eggs and stuff in frying pans. Ooh, that sounded country. Making eggs in frying pans. No, so yeah, I agree on that. It is kind of funny, like trying to learn to whistle. I haven't got the full whistle yet, but I got enough that people outside the house can hear me, but not enough to where I can get the kids' attention. If we have kids here and whatnot. But he was talking about the sound of depression that he makes when he was sitting there eating the bacon. And I just related, I related to it, but, no, I laughed, but, he's always got these funny names people email in and call him or whatever, like the person called him, Scarlett No Harrison or something like that, or what, I forget what it was, but he was like, Scarlett's, a woman's name, so that's one, he got me once, and then he said he got me twice on the other, the hairless part, and I was going to say, actually, I think it might be, someone might be trying to say you're in a really attractive bald red guy, because Scarlett Johansson, or Scarlett No Hair Man for you, Scarlett Johansson, she's very attractive, very smart. She's not well, I guess I can't say she's not stupid, right? After saying she's very smart, but you get the point. Is she's intelligent. Like she's not one of those people. I don't think that she's one of those people that, slept around to get any roles or anything like that. Like she's an integrity. Integrity. That's what I'm looking for. Is integrity. She's got I believe at least that she's got the integrity. Come on, dude, move. We're fucking sitting in the road, pulling into a gas station, and they stop. Like, yeah, I'm still out here, buddy. I'd like to fucking not get hit, but no, Scarlett's got the integrity. I don't think that she would But no, I think that was a compliment. I think you just got complimented. But also, of course, ragged on your baldliness. Now I feel like I'm calling him a king. Your baldliness. But, no, you got complimented. I think. But the lonely breakfast thing, it's funny he says that because, it's like, I don't know. I know Edgar Allan Poe was dark. I don't know if it was necessarily depressing dark or just dark as in, just an overall sense. But with the names, I figured after that and how descriptively depressing his breakfast was, we'd call him Burr Allan Poe. That's what I'm going to call him for that. And I'll try and find something equally depressing in my life that I can describe with such vivid detail, like the crunch of the bacon just going into his brain, telling him how lonely he is. Shit. Where were we? He mentioned God treating his son like a kid, like a teenager, and like, it's time to go back. Well, I don't want to go back yet. Well, I'm not asking, I'm telling, and I'm just thinking, well, what if, because he's, Bill's like, well, I don't want to get nailed to anything again. And I'm thinking, well, what if it's, what if he said, clean your room? The universe is huge. We don't know if there's more more than one universe, like a multiverse. We don't know what's out there. So what if, this universe is like his room. Like he's one of the kids, like there's 5 kids, 5 universes, and they got their own rooms, and God or Dad just comes in and he's like, hey, I already sent you down there once to clean, and you got tetanus, and I had to give you a shot. So before it gets bad again, get back down there and clean your fucking room. and I just want, that's my take on it. Since he hasn't come back yet, like he said, it's like, no, last time I did that, you had your toolbox in my room, and I accidentally grabbed one of your nails out of the toolbox, or one of your rusty screwdrivers, Dad, because you built everything so fucking quick. You built it all in 7 days, damn it, or 6 days, and you rested. But either way, you built it all so fast that, you shoved all your tools in my room. I'm not cleaning that shit again. That's my take on it. Oh, man. All right, let's see. Yeah, just going through my notes real quick. I actually had time to have notes. Oh, he had a writer-inner who disagreed with him. No, he had someone write in who disagreed with him, but they did it. And there was no argument, no harm, no foul, no anger. It was just, yeah, I disagree, but I'm a fan. Live your life, enjoy. And I'd just like to say that's, yeah, good shit. Like Billy, good shit. Fucking awesome, That's what if all adults could be like that, just think how the world would be, Tolerant, but, or not tolerant, you don't got to tolerate negative against you, but disagreeable, but still, respectful. Yeah, there we go. And, and lastly, talking about his depression thing, he said he was a mess. And I kind of, that's what I was relating to, not the depressing bacon crunch, but being a mess. Because I was thinking about, my life currently, like, not financially financially, I'm still one of those week-to-week paycheck guys, but I'm at the point now where I could skip a week or two and, I'd have a little credit card, a little money on the credit cards to pay off, but, I could skip, some work and make it through a week or two before I'd be like, before I start to stress about, not just covering bills, but food and, whatever else too. But, no, more what I meant is, 2025, so 23, 24, 23, yeah, so 2 years ago, right now, I lived in Florida. I was seemingly in my head, I was happily married, living in Florida, working full time, just like now, but, thought I was going to have this wife that I had, thought we were going to be together, seemed happy. Like I said, everybody has their little tiffs and arguments. Even Bill said that, but, we were working on ourselves. We were improving, our relationship was steadily gaining on the, up and up over the years we were married. So, I didn't see anything coming when we split. When she cheated, it was, it was blindside. But, so anyway, 2 years ago, I'm sitting there, married, thinking I'm having kids with this woman. I'm going to grow old with this woman. We're going to, I'm planning out life, like, I already got, all I need is the white picket fence, and the new car in the house, that's the hard shit, I guess that's the hardest. But, as far as that goes, besides that, the happiness, the future prospective, feeling was all there. But, no, and then here I sit 2 years later. I don't really know anybody because I just got to Michigan. I'm working full time. I'm trying to save money, build my credit up. But, I don't know anybody. I haven't been able to really get out much. So, I feel the same way. I come home and, actually what I do is I if there's nothing new to stream, I'll have a drink, smoke a little, and, I'll just play, I'll play my, hockey on my PlayStation or something like that. And I know it's stupid, especially, I'm not even a video game guy like that, like those guys who come home from work and they ignore their wife for 12 hours as they play video games into the middle of the night. I'm not even that kind of person. I just, I wouldn't even play if I had people to interact with, or even if they played. I got one. I don't want to say not a friend but it's a coworker, and it's one of those you don't know what you can say, you don't know how far you can take things, and not as where a friend outside of work, you could be like, fuck you, how's your morning, fucking you piece of shit, and and your friends, so they'll be like, fuck you too, it's a great morning, or whatever, But at work, you do that. That's a whole different story, depending on the person. Some people might do the same thing. Some people might be like, straight to HR. But no. So yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was like, damn, I feel like a fucking mess. I'm not a mess. I mean, maybe emotionally and mentally, but it's like, because I mean, like I said, I went from stable, happy, future planned out to now, I mean, stable, happy in that sense, in the stability, but across the country, alone, maybe one or half of a friend at work, or maybe a couple half of friends at work, and one friend, but that's my roommate or landlord or whatever you want to call it. So that's got stipulations, because you don't want to piss off the person you're living with, at least not till you can afford to buy your own place or something like that. So yeah, I feel like a fucking mess too. I wonder how you guys feel. Y'all feel like a fucking messes, or you feel like you got your shit together and life's just dandy? I want to know how everybody else feels. Or are we alone in this feeling like messes and depressing breakfasts? Or is everybody just fucking happy-go-lucky dandy? Life's perfect. On that note, it's Friday. Let's get this fucking work day out of the way. Let's get these 8 hours done and get the fuck home and relax and enjoy, maybe I'll go out this weekend and meet somebody. Everybody enjoy your weekends on that note. Stay happy, healthy, safe, dry, whatever you prefer. Go fuck yourselves, Bill. Fuck you and your play and your stand-ups and your I was gonna say family, but that's fucked up. And even as a joke, I don't want to be that way, So go fuck yourself, Bill, and we'll catch you in on Tuesday. See you then.